When we're setting up a machine row and we want to focus a little bit more on lat, especially that upper medial division, what we're going to try and do is get the arm position so it lines up with those fibers. So we want the line of pull of these lats and the arm to match. So that's usually going to be a chest forward, butt back position, especially in a machine that moves in this arc. As he's going back, if it feels like it's driving his shoulder up, then his seat position is off. He actually needs to move that seat up or adjust his torso position. So if Austin reaches out and grabs here, now he's actually going to be driving the elbows down the entire time and then only back at the very end. And at the very end, he's thinking about squeezing his arms into his side. So he's squeezing almost like he could make his two triceps reach around and touch, but he's thinking about his lats, not retracting the scapula over hard. You will be retracting the scapula. You will feel it in your rhomboids, but the focus is to get those upper lats engaged, not just retract with the scapula at the end. And the elbows are always pushing down a little bit. The more you focus down, the more you're going to be focusing on these fibers. So since we're focusing on more upper back with the force, the down is a slight intent to make sure it's lat and not shoulders. You shouldn't be focusing down so hard that you don't actually get the pulling back motion in there and the upper lats engaged. So if we're going to do a seated row and we're going to focus on upper back and rear delts, what we're actually going to end up with is this elbow position where we're coming out. It's going to be somewhere close to a 45-degree angle, but really the ideal position for you is going to be, if you think about driving the elbow back, where do you end up? So some people will be a little bit more abducted, some people a little bit more adducted. It's when these rear delt fibers are going to be lined up straight with the arm, you're going to have the best advantage to contract with those. So if you're driving back, you will find that spot where your shoulder just kind of sits. That's the angle that we're going to pull to. So we're going to line yourself up so when you're in that position, your forearm is going to be straight at the handles. Then we know that your seat height is set. So if Austin reaches out and grabs those, his intent here is going to be creating tension but not retracting. Okay, so tension in the mid-back, and then he's actually going to drive those elbows back. He's not focusing on pushing down. He's focusing on squeezing this together and driving the elbows back, because here we're focusing on getting everything pulled in. The rear delts, if you can see, if he's lining up, should be pulling right in this line. You are going to feel some upper trap in here because the trap is actually stabilizing the pull of the rear delt on the scapula. So it is normal for you to feel upper trap, normal for you to feel rhomboids. Those muscles are working and stabilizing in this exercise. That's actually a sign that you're creating tension in that rear delt. If we want to focus more on the upper back and not quite bias the rear delt as much, we can work in that fully abducted position. So now we're working kind of in this straight horizontal plane. So then you're going to have the most upright torso position, and you want the line of force here to match the machine. So if the machine is horizontal, your torso is going to be nearly 90 degrees, maybe just slightly forward, so that we're still lined up with the rear delt, but now we've also lined up a lot of this rhomboid T2, so we can focus more on the retraction component of the exercise. So Austin's going to reach out here. The handle should be just out of reach. He's going to create tension here. He's going to retract, but not try and get fully shortened until he actually gets to this position. So when he's back, he's finishing that retraction. As he goes forward, he lets that retraction go out at the end, and then he retracts here, but not fully, because you can't get fully until we actually drive those elbows out, back, and then you finish the retraction at the end. So there will always be a little retraction left when you get those elbows back, because now we've cleared the shoulder. If you try and overly retract out here, you're going to get to the point where you just simply can't pull your arm that way. Your elbows have to go out in order for the shoulder to wrap around.